Hi everyone, this is Penny from penny-astrology.com, and today we're going to answer, what do they think of you? So you can pick any person you want, whether it's a business relationship, a romantic relationship, or maybe someone you're just kind of curious about. And I want you to think about this person and focus on their energy, and then we're going to end up with 6 separate piles for you to choose from. So while I'm shuffling, I do want to take a minute to talk about how this is useful information, and sometimes we find ourselves in positions where we need to know what someone else thinks. But here's the but. We got to make sure that we have emotionally grounded ourselves before we start to inquire about this kind of thing, because when we start to get caught up in what other people think of us, it can cause insecurity, it can cause emotional unrest. So what I want you to do before we start this reading is I want you to emotionally ground yourself. And you might already have a way that you do that. What I like to do is I actually like to kind of strengthen and activate my root chakra. So first we're going to sit kind of nice and tall, and then we're going to make sure both of our hip bones are connected to the earth or the floor, or as close to the earth or the floor as you can get them. And you're just going to sit nice and grounded and level. And then you're going to breathe in. And as you breathe out, you are going to kind of imagine you have tree roots growing out from underneath your sits bones. So you're grounding into the earth. And then as you breathe back in, you're kind of taking nutrients from the earth and bringing it back up into your body. So that is how you ground yourself. Inhale, ground down. Exhale, draw strength from the earth. Okay, so that should help a little bit. And that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get the cards ready for us. All right. So I'm going to create 6 piles for us to choose from. This is pile number 1. And pile number 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. So go ahead and take a minute and just go to whichever card is calling you the most when you think about this specific person that we're asking about today. And if you need a still image of these cards, you can check my Instagram and my Facebook. I normally have them up there. But we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Okay, so this person has kind of a lot of worries about you. They feel like they've seen some red flags, perhaps some things that they've seen in the past with people who have been troubling, with people who have been dangerous to them. So this person is kind of on edge and kind of frightened. And this might not necessarily be your fault. I feel like this has to do with a lot of the other people who have been in their life, a lot of the other people who have kept this person on edge, who have kept this person paranoid. So if this is in business, this is someone who is very worried about the competition, who's worried about the way that they have been treated by coworkers and competitors in the past. If this is relationships, this is someone who's been burned in the past, who's had some very troubling, toxic relationships. Let's go ahead and see their reasoning behind this. So this is kind of what set them off about you. So this is kind of like a yin and yang thing where the universe naturally seeks balance, and it's because you came across as being a little bit nonchalant about things that they think should have been a bigger deal. So this seems like the type of person, they might have specifically done certain things to try to test you, to try to see if you would call them out or express your anger up front and upright. And they were looking for specific reactions that they just simply didn't see. And that's part of what set off these warning signs for them. Now, this card, the Magician, it has to do with kind of the emotional reasons behind what they're thinking. So this person has a lot of things in life that they've been trying to manifest. They've been trying to create a brighter future for themselves. And part of that is fueled by their stark awareness for how things can go wrong. And then it's also kind of stemmed from this. You know, that's part of the reason why they're trying to keep things positive. They're trying to keep things headed in a specific direction. And if you are dealing with either non-responsiveness from this person, or you're getting the cold shoulder, or they just haven't really been acting right around you, that's why. They're really trying to keep the whole kind of cliche good vibes thing going, and they're almost trying to keep themselves like in this little bubble so that they can protect what they care about in life and manifest what they actually want. So they're going to have to figure out whether or not you're in line with what they're trying to manifest and what role you can play in the life that they want and the life that they need, or maybe you two will just need to stay away from each other. So that's kind of where this relationship is at right now. All right, pile number 2. Okay, so this person's actually pretty laissez-faire, pretty unfazed by what's going on, just kind of experiencing the joys of life. And they're happy for the most part. I want to look at the other cards because it sounds harsh for me to say that they're not really concerned about you right now, but this is also someone who comes across as being a little bit oblivious to some of the things that are going on. So if this is someone you have romantic feelings for, they most likely don't know about it. They haven't really caught on to it yet. It's probably someone who, you know, having their heads in the clouds, they tend to feel like people are just being nice rather than flirting and things like that. Okay, so another thing that's going on here is we have the combination of this person being somewhat oblivious, and then this person also having people around them who like to lie to them, who have to like to tell them certain things. So, for example, they might have a friend who gets jealous of them. So when they go to this friend for advice, like, "Hey, do you think Catherine likes me?" And then their friend says, "No, nobody likes you. You're freaking ugly and you're a mess." And even though that's not true about this person, that's kind of what they've been led to believe. This seems to be someone who's vulnerable and who's been kind of gaslit to some extent. And then what kind of fuels and enables that pattern is that this is someone who's ultimately reclusive. They're shy, they're a bit of a hermit, and even though they do fairly well in social situations, it does seem like they like to be alone. You know, they're a little bit artistic. They like to have that time to sit and reflect on their own, but then that also keeps them somewhat out of touch with the real world and what's actually going around and what is or is not true. So what I'm really getting about this person is they don't know that you like them. They don't know that you have feelings for them. If there's some other kind of emotional complication going on between you and them, I don't feel like they're really aware of it. I think they're actually oblivious. And if it seems like they've been a bit of a jerk, they probably don't realize they're being a jerk because, again, they're oblivious. All right, time for pile number 3. Okay, so the first card we have is the Six of Wands. So this is someone who feels, I don't want to assume the worst in anyone, and this in itself isn't really bad, but this is someone who appears to be feeling very good about themselves, and they think that their accomplishments are seldom comparable to other people's. And I'm feeling that this is just because they've had a lot of varying types of attention from other people. They've had a lot of praise and even to some extent the criticism they get, they take as an affirmation that they're generating jealousy. You know, they get kind of self-absorbed in certain things. So this is kind of a person who sees things on extremes. They have a very fiery, aggressive, competitive type of personality, and it's either like you're either with me and you're on my level, or I'm not gonna really pay attention to you. So let's see what this last card is. So this last card is the Fool. What I'm getting from this is someone who's very afraid of being slowed down in life. They're, to some extent, afraid of change, even though they're not consciously aware of that. So what they consciously think about themselves is that they are perpetually seeking change. They are perpetually seeking challenges. They are the brave warrior. They are going out and they are conquering. But in truth, this is someone who's afraid of change, and they follow a pretty specific pattern of behavior. They want to be able to put everything in its little box and figure out how to classify it nice and easily. And I'm feeling like you, the person who's asking about this, the person who's getting this reading right now, you don't really fit in their little boxes that well. And that's part of the reason why you're having confusion with them. So they're not really sure whether or not you are, quote, quote, on their level, able to be on their team, able to roll with them. You know, it's kind of a cocky mentality that's going on here, and they're not sure about it. And this person, as much as they act like they're willing to take risks, I really don't feel like they want to. They want to be able to play it safe. They've seen some very negative consequences from taking risks in the past, and this person has some trust issues. So even though they act big and bad and mighty, this is someone who does actually have some trust issues. So what do they actually think about you? My answer to that is this person's actually too busy thinking about themselves. And it's not that they don't think about you at all, it's that they don't know what to think. And the fact that they don't know what to think kind of keeps them distracted and keeps them in the gray area with it. But I'm seeing you as kind of being this mermaid, as being kind of this unfamiliar creature who's almost like a myth to this person this person has tried to keep things fairly simple. So you're like a mermaid, you're like a mythical creature to them. You're amazing, you're otherworldly, but they can't necessarily process that right now. So that's kind of what's going on. This is someone who doesn't know you very well. And certain things about you, I think, scare them. And it's not because there's anything wrong with you. You're a beautiful, amazing creature. You're a freaking mermaid, okay? At least according to this reading. But this person's gonna have to realize whether or not, and you know, this is where the cockiness starts to lose its facade. This person's gonna have to figure out whether or not they can roll with you, because you might actually be a little bit above their level, whereas they don't like to have to put themselves in that position. So this is someone who likes to be able to think of themselves in a certain way, but you are kind of challenging that right now. That was interesting. Okay, moving on. And this is pile number 4. Okay, so this is a person who's a little bit confused by you. They feel like there's kind of already been a lot going on in the relationship, a lot of back and forth and some mixed messages. And ultimately, this person is fairly pragmatic. They're trying to figure out, you know, whether or not certain things are worth their pain, really. Because I do feel that, like, certain parts of what has already gone on between the two of you, it has caused them pain. and they're not sure whether or not they can continue to deal with it. So they seem to have fond thoughts of you, but they're just not sure if they can deal with the mixed messages. It might be a bit much for them. And even though this person seems to have things under control, this is someone who is sensitive and who is emotional, and they have a limit of how much they can take, how much they can handle emotionally. So I feel like they want to be able to like you, they want to be able to trust what you say, and they want to be able to listen to you, but they feel kind of overwhelmed at this point. So that's what's going on there. Okay, card number, well, pile number 5. It's not just a card. Okay, first one is the Queen of Wands. Then we've got the Ace of Swords and the 10 of Coins. So I feel like this is someone who looks up to you, who admires you, who thinks that you're the type of person, not only do they want you in their life, but they're honored to have you in their life. So the Ace of Swords, it does make me think that this is someone you haven't known for particularly well, but they just kind of come to conclusions about people very quickly. You know, they go on their instincts. They pick up those tiny little cues in conversation and they just run with it. And they end up developing really strong feelings and really strong opinions about someone right from the get-go. And they seem to have pretty good opinions and perceptions of you so far. Now, this card, the 10 of Coins, is speaking of this person's values. So this is someone who wants to have a community, who wants to live in a situation where I'll scratch your back and you'll scratch my back. And they're considering you to be someone who will fit in well with this arrangement, fit in well with what they're actually looking for in life and what they're concerned with and what they care about and what they're hoping to accomplish. So this is someone I feel like they might have had a very quick reaction to you, a very quick opinion on who you are and whether or not they want you in your life. And they trust their intuition and they feel like you fit in very well with their goals. So this might be a little bit overwhelming, but it does seem like, you know, whatever this person has been offering to you, it does seem to come from a place that's genuine. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work in your favor, though. I do want you to think about that. And this person might truly believe that it will work out in your favor, but whether or not it will work out in your favor is actually an entirely different question, and you would need to do a different reading in order to be able to solve that and to be able to have that question answered. So they believe it will be mutually beneficial, and they are very interested in pursuing something. All right, pile number 6. We've got the King of Wands and Strength and the Empress. Okay, so this King of Wands is really telling me that this person finds you fascinating, physically attractive, interesting, kind of like an I can't take my eyes off of you type of situation. But they might also be a little bit intimidated because all of this is overwhelming. This is a very big package. So I know I said they might be intimidated, but this card actually makes me think it's more likely that they're not. This person, I feel like it's a combination of either they feel like they're strong, like they've recognized some of the same things in you that they recognize in themselves, or being around you has inspired them to be strong, to perhaps be more assertive, to be able to go after what they want and kind of overcome their fears. So there is a lot going on here. This is interesting. And then the final card here, having to do with emotions, this is the Empress. And this one gives me a feeling of absolution, as if there's like something that's meant to be fulfilled from this relationship, that there's something that is meant to be pursued and created from this relationship. So this person has very strong feelings about you. In terms of thoughts, their thoughts are a little bit primal, like, oh my gosh, this person's so attractive. This person's like so, awesome. This person is bad ASS. I don't know if I'm going to get demonetized for saying that. I'm sorry. I'm always afraid to curse on YouTube. But this person's kind of in awe of you. They're really in admiration, and they want to be able to be strong. They want to be able to kind of meet your expectations and fulfill any calling that you might have, because they do feel like there's something that they want to be able to pursue with you. So this could be that they want to pursue a creative project. This could be that they want to get married and start a family. It could go in either direction depending on what type of person you are asking about. But even if this is a business relationship, there's at least some kind of like bromance going on, or just state of admiration, state of awe, where they really admire you and they really think you are fascinating and a good. If it's business specifically, they think you are going to be good at attracting clients and good at attracting business, and that's part of the reason why they're acting like they have a freaking crush on you. But this is someone who, like, their mouth is almost watering when they look at you because they're so excited and so thrilled about what all this can entail. Anyway, thank you for joining me here today. And I hope you like the reading. If you do, make sure you subscribe, you hit the notification bell if you want to be notified. I usually upload once or twice a week. I try to do my best to stay on top of everything. And if you really, really like my content and you want to see more of my seduction secrets and that type of thing, then you can check the links below. And I have Patreon linked. So that's where my seduction secrets are. Also, if you want to stay up to date on what's going on in the world, astrologically, then you can check out my Facebook page. And other than that, I hope to see you again. Thanks again. Bye.